Alright, let's talk about something truly amazing. It's the art of sticking two pieces of metal together with a lightning bolt you can hold in your hand. I'm talking about welding. For decades, this was a job for big, heavy, grumbling machines that sat in the corner of a workshop and dared you to move them. They were powerful, no doubt about it. But they were also the size of a small refrigerator and weighed just as much. Moving them around was a job in itself, a real backbreaker. You needed a dedicated power outlet and a whole lot of patience to get them humming just right. That was the reality for a long time. But guess what? The world of welding has been turned on its head. It's gone through a revolution, and it's one of the coolest things I've seen in a long time. It's like we went from those giant, clunky cell phones from the 80s to the smartphone you have in your pocket right now. Welding has gone digital. It's gotten smarter, lighter, and way more accessible for everyone. It's no longer just the domain of massive industrial shops with cranes to lift the equipment. The modern age of welding is here, and it's powered by some seriously clever technology that has changed the game for good. This change isn't just about convenience, though that's a huge part of it. It's about precision. It's about control. It's about giving the person holding the torch more power than ever before. Think about it. We've seen technology transform everything from how we communicate to how we build our homes. Why should welding be any different? This new wave of machines has opened up a world of possibilities for professionals, hobbyists, artists, and anyone with a creative spark and the desire to build something real, something tangible. It's an exciting time to be a maker. So, if you thought welding was some dark art reserved for a select few with biceps the size of canned hams, think again. The barriers are coming down. The technology is getting better and more affordable every single day. We're going to dive into the heart of this revolution and talk about the little box that's making all the noise, the inverter welding machine. Get ready, because this is the kind of stuff that gets me excited. It's where innovation meets a dirty job, and the results are nothing short of spectacular. This is where the fun begins. So, what is this magical box I'm talking about? It's called an inverter welding machine. Now, don't let the technical name scare you off. In simple terms, an inverter welder is a smart welder. It's a high-tech piece of equipment that uses advanced electronics to do its job. Think of it as the brainy cousin to the big, brawny transformer welders of the past. It takes the standard power from your wall outlet and, through some digital wizardry, transforms it into the perfect, smooth power needed for welding. It does this incredibly efficiently, which is the secret to its success. Let's break it down even simpler. Imagine you need to lift a heavy rock. The old way was to use pure muscle and brute force. The new way is to use a clever system of levers and pulleys. The inverter welder is that system of levers and pulleys. It doesn't rely on raw, heavy components to get the job done. Instead, it uses a sophisticated electronic circuit board, kind of like the one inside your computer, to manipulate electricity. This circuit board can switch the electrical current on and off thousands of times per second, giving it incredible control over the welding arc. This little box is a game changer because it's not just a power converter, it's a power perfecter. The electronics inside smooth out the electricity, getting rid of all the spikes and dips. This results in a super stable, easy-to-control arc. For the person doing the welding, that means less spatter, cleaner welds, and a much more forgiving experience. It makes it easier to lay down a beautiful, strong bead of metal. It's like painting with a fine-tipped brush instead of a messy, dripping roller. The control you get is simply on another level. Ultimately, an inverter welder is a testament to how smart technology can make a tough job easier without sacrificing an ounce of power. It's a compact, lightweight, and efficient machine that puts incredible welding capability into a package you can carry with one hand. It proves that you don't need to be big and loud to be powerful. Sometimes, the smartest worker in the room is also the quietest and most efficient. That's the inverter welder in a nutshell, a brainy little powerhouse that's shaking up the entire industry. To really appreciate what an inverter welder does, you have to understand the old guard, the transformer welding machine. These are the classic welders you've probably seen. They are absolute beasts. Inside them is a massive, heavy transformer, which is basically two big coils of copper wire wrapped around a heavy iron core. Their job is to take the high voltage, low amperage power from the wall and transform it into the low voltage, high amperage power needed to melt metal. It's a simple, robust, and effective design that has worked for 100 years. The problem? That big transformer is incredibly heavy. We're talking hundreds of pounds of copper and iron. It's also not very efficient. It gets hot, it makes a lot of noise, and it draws a ton of power from the grid, even when you're not actively welding. Think of it like an old muscle car. It's loud, it's powerful, and it has a certain charm, but it guzzles gas like there's no tomorrow and isn't exactly what you'd call nimble. Those old transformer machines are reliable, but they are stuck in the past when it comes to technology and efficiency. Now, let's look at the inverter. The inverter welder starts by taking the AC power from your wall and immediately converting it to DC power. Then, a high-tech electronic circuit chops up that DC power at an incredibly high frequency. We're talking 20,000 to 100,000 times per second. Because the frequency is so high, the machine can use a tiny, lightweight transformer to achieve the same power conversion that the old welders needed a massive one for. It's a brilliant bit of engineering that completely changes the scale of the machine. After passing through the small transformer, the power is converted back to DC to create the perfect welding arc. Because this whole process is controlled by a microprocessor, the machine can make continuous adjustments to keep the arc perfectly stable. This is why inverter welders are so smooth and easy to use. It's the difference between driving that old muscle car with its loose steering and hopping into a modern sports car with responsive, computer-assisted handling. Both will get you down the road, but one offers a level of control and precision the other can only dream of. So, we've established that inverter welders are smaller and lighter. But why is that such a big deal? Let's count the ways. First and foremost, portability. This is the #1 advantage that changes everything. With an old transformer machine, your workshop was built around the welder. With an inverter, you can take the welder to the work. You can throw it in the back of your truck, carry it up a flight of stairs, or squeeze it into a tight spot on a job site. This opens up a world of possibilities for repairs and fabrication on the go. Second, let's talk about power efficiency. Inverter machines are unbelievably efficient. They use significantly less electricity to do the same amount of work as their older counterparts. Because they aren't wasting energy generating a bunch of excess heat, more of the power you pull from the wall goes directly into the weld. This means you can often run a powerful inverter welder on a standard household circuit, something that would be impossible for a traditional welder of similar output. It saves you money on your electricity bill and makes the machine far more versatile. Third is the quality of the weld itself. As I mentioned, the electronics inside an inverter welder create a very smooth and stable arc. For a beginner, this is a lifesaver. It makes it much easier to start the arc and keep it going without the rod sticking to the metal. For a seasoned pro, it means cleaner, stronger, and more beautiful welds, with less spatter to clean up afterward. You have more control, which allows for more precise and intricate work. Some advanced inverter machines even have settings for different types of metal, taking the guesswork out of the equation. Finally, these machines are incredibly versatile. Many inverter welders are multi-process machines. This means one single portable box can be used for stick welding, TIG welding, and even MIG welding. In the old days, you would have needed 2 or 3 separate giant machines to do all that. Now, you can have all that capability in a package that weighs less than 30 pounds. It's an incredible value and gives you the freedom to learn and master different welding techniques without having to buy a whole new workshop full of equipment. Portability, efficiency, control, and versatility, that's the inverter advantage. So, where are people actually using these amazing machines? The short answer is everywhere. The portability and efficiency of inverter welders have completely revolutionized where and how welding work gets done. Think about a farmer out in the middle of a field with a broken piece of equipment. In the old days, they'd have to haul that heavy part all the way back to the workshop. Now they can take a small inverter welder and a generator right to the field and make the repair on the spot. It saves hours, if not days, of downtime. You'll also find them on every modern construction site. When workers are building skyscrapers, they need to weld steel beams hundreds of feet in the air. Can you imagine trying to haul a 500-pound transformer welder up there? No way. Inverter welders are light enough to be carried or hoisted easily, allowing critical welding work to be done anywhere on the structure. The same goes for shipyards, pipelines, and bridge repairs. Any job that requires mobility and power has embraced inverter technology wholeheartedly. It's the new standard for industrial work. But it's not just about the big jobs. The impact on hobbyists, artists, and small business owners has been just as profound. People are building custom furniture, creating incredible metal sculptures, and tricking out their cars right in their own garages. The affordability and the fact that many inverters can run on standard home power have democratized welding. It's no longer a trade that requires a massive industrial space and a huge upfront investment. It's become a skill that anyone with a passion for building things can pick up and enjoy. From the high-stakes world of motorsports, where race teams need to make quick, precise repairs in the pit lane, to your neighbor down the street who's finally building that backyard gate they've always wanted, inverter welders are there. They are in art studios, vocational schools, and mobile repair vans. They have fundamentally changed our relationship with metal fabrication, making it more accessible, more creative, and more widespread than ever before. If you see someone welding out in the wild today, chances are they're using one of these brilliant little boxes. Look, I've spent my career celebrating the people who aren't afraid to get their hands dirty. The people who build, fix, and create the world around us. Welding is one of the most fundamental and empowering skills you can learn. It's the ability to take raw materials and turn them into something strong, useful, and permanent. And thanks to inverter technology, getting started has never been easier. The barrier to entry has been lowered, but the satisfaction of a job well done remains as high as ever. It's a skill that will serve you for a lifetime. So, I encourage you to get curious. Don't just read about it, talk about it. The next time you're with your friends, bring it up. Ask if anyone has ever tried welding. You might be surprised. Share what you've learned about these new inverter machines. A conversation is how a spark of interest turns into a flame of passion. There's a whole community of makers and builders out there who are happy to share their knowledge and help you get started. You can find them online, in local clubs, or at community colleges. You don't have to aim to build a skyscraper on your first try. Start small. Learn the basics of safety. That's always number one. Watch some videos. Maybe take a weekend class. The feeling of laying down your first clean bead of weld is something you'll never forget. It's a mix of science, art, and a little bit of magic. It's a skill that builds confidence and proves that you are capable of making incredible things with your own two hands. Don't be intimidated by the sparks, embrace them. And hey, if you found this interesting, if it sparked a little something in you, do me a favor. Help spread the word. Share this with someone you think would get a kick out of it. Give it a like so others can find it. And make sure you subscribe, because we've got a lot more to talk about when it comes to the amazing world of skilled trades. Now go out there and think about what you could build. The world is waiting.